Hello, energy healers, and welcome. Today, we're talking about how your solar plexus impacts your dating life. Now, this chakra of all the chakras is the most underrated, especially when it comes to dating. And the reason why is because the solar plexus wears a mask. This is our personality, our confidence, and our ego. And so we wear a mask to hide our ego that creates a delay in the energy exchange. So when you go out on a date, your sacral is probably taking the lead, looking for an emotional connection, a sexual attraction, and looking for that spark. But once that spark and that connection is made, the solar plexus will reveal itself with some really heavy hitting topics like confidence, control, and ego. Things that really make or break a relationship. And so in today's video, we're going to start with our self-reflection prompts to give you a chance to sort of think about, how is my solar plexus affecting my dating life? The second thing we'll do is I will help explain what the imbalances look like so that you can diagnose your own energy. And then we'll end with what does healing this chakra feel like and act like? What does that look like? Okay, so let's start with some self-reflection prompts. Okay, let's start with the big one, the ego. How well do you handle the truth, especially when it differs from your current opinion? Next, what does healthy power look like in a romantic relationship? What kind of power dynamics is ideal for you? And last, do you feel more safe being led or being in control of the relationship? These are some big ones. And it makes me think about how the relationship started between me and my husband. So when we were first dating, we had some masks like everybody over our solar plexus. At the time, if we were to truly reveal what our energy was, my husband's confidence, sense of humor, sense of identity was super strong and still is. Very decisive man. Mine was very low, so lower confidence, lower sense of identity, was sort of a chameleon looking, trying to fit into the room. So I wasn't consistent. Just had a lot of healing to do. I'd say we were on total polar opposites, but the masks made us seem like we were more in the middle. So I presented myself as very confident. I presented myself as a leader. I was a boss babe. I was very successful in the industry. In fact, I was his trainer, and he was very comfortable and willing to listen to the trainings that I had, et cetera, et cetera. But after that initial spark, the energy, it revealed itself. The mask can only last so long. And the true energy connection, that subconscious, it's going to match on those energies and pull the energy regardless of what trying to mask you're trying to cover up. And so the weaker confidence that I had was very attracted to his more dominant personality. And that connection caused a lot of friction early on in our relationship. A lot of power struggles and arguments and trying to figure out who was right. And the interesting fact about the person who has the closed off or seemingly lower confidence is that also creates this subconscious protection of the ego. So even though this person says and acts and behaves like they don't want to be in control and that they're super passive, that fire, because the solar plexus is the fire sign, that fire is still brewing behind the mask, behind the closed offness. And so the ego is very sensitive, right? So the ego is saying, you know, well, who are you to take the lead and take the control? And so they'll have like these bursts of anger, bursts of ego, like, well, you ain't better than me, and I could do this twice as fast, and you're a mess and I'm not. So it's like there's this dynamic of hiding the power but craving the confidence. And so it's like the energy wants to come out. It's like a flame that is lingering and just wants to burst out. And the same thing happens with the opposite. The person whose flame is like loud and bright and seemingly uncontrollable secretly craves to be put within a container, right? The alignment, your energy is always looking for alignment. Your soul is always searching for healing. So whether or not you're super overactive or underactive, subconsciously your energy is craving balance. Working on my solar plexus has totally transformed my life and especially my marriage. Because I don't want my ego or my power struggle or the debating with my partner to block our connection and to block our love. And if I'm being honest, a lot of what I've learned over the years of working on this is that my low confidence made me very scared to be controlled, because I didn't really believe that I had enough power to stand up for myself, that I would be walked all over, that I would be, in this weaker position forever. And what I've learned through watching my husband is that his overconfidence was also rooted in fear of that he would lose control. And so through the years of arguing and learning how to argue and learning how to swallow our pride and learning how to put our ego to the side, really step into the other person's shoes, we've learned that we both need to have an equal amount of power and an equal amount of control, but it's going to be demonstrated differently. So as the feminine energy, when I am releasing control, it's not releasing power. It's not releasing confidence. It's just releasing control of the situation to demonstrate that I trust his decision, which is solar plexus, decision making. I trust his leadership. I trust his gut, that he has a gut instinct just like I do, and I'm able to surrender that. And increasing my confidence in myself has allowed me to increase my confidence in him. And similarly, he has been able to give me the control and the power to share the desire, not argue it, but just state it, and have an input on the decisions that we're making. That blending of solar plexuses makes us twice as strong. It blends the confidence, it blends the power, it blends the decision, but the ego is going to have to be set to the side. And that took so long, and there's still moments where I can feel my ego creeping up. But there is a big difference between control and confidence. And learning that difference has been the most sacred work of the solar plexus. In your relationships, I want you to notice what combination of solar plexus energy that you're attracting. So for one is I like to call the the person who loses themselves, right? So their confidence is so low, and the power that they're demonstrating is so low because they want the other person to lead, and they want the other person to, they don't want to appear needy or difficult. The problem with that is that relationship is now affecting the rest of that person's solar plexus, which is their sense of humor. That person is going to not be as funny, not be more as courageous to say a joke that you're not sure if people are going to think it's funny, but you think it's funny, but you're not willing to take that chance. It's going to make you more indecisive in life, even when you're not with that partner. And you're going to lose your sense of identity. So this is the positive side of the ego. The reason why you don't want to totally surrender the ego is because your personality is in there. The thing that makes you unique, the thing that makes you you. I mean, a lot of the root work that you do, your people in your ancestry, your family, your siblings probably have the same root history as you, maybe experiencing it pretty differently. But the thing that makes you unique is your solar plexus, your fire, your personality. You don't want to lose that. So I want you to reflect to see if that is option 1 of 3. Are you the person who loses yourself in a relationship? The second one is the control freak, right? So this is the person who plans out everything, leaves no room for anyone else. And they find safety in control. This isn't real confidence, though. This is not long lasting, and there's a part of your personality that questions yourself. If you have a need for that much control, there is little confidence there. And then the third one is the mirror image. So this is one that my husband and I would do often, is that we both would get ignited. Both of our fires would ignite. We both wanted to be right. We both wanted to be heard. We both felt misunderstood, and we showed each other the mirror images of that to each other. And we ended up competing instead of collaborating. When you have a partnership, the ultimate goal is to blend into one being. You become one. That's why there's so many scriptures about the sanctity of marriage and how you become one under the eyes of God. Competition cannot exist there. So true healing is in standing in your personal power, allowing your partner to also stand in their personal power, and to become one, twice as powerful, twice the personality, twice the decision-making skills, and twice the confidence, because now you're confident in each other, learning each other's personalities, learning each other's strengths and weaknesses, putting your ego to the side and appreciating each other because of it. Overcoming this, like I said, has been the most revolutionary part of our relationship. 10 years strong now, married, and looking forward to the future. We had to go through that process. Thank God we loved each other and we healed each other through it. And it ended up helping us balance our energies out, which is what we were looking for in a relationship. No one's gonna come fully healed, chakras totally in alignment, and be the perfect match. You're going to go through that healing and meta updating each other. So that's a great question for you to think about. Where is your energy currently, and what healing do you need? So let's go through the second step and help diagnose where your energy is right now. So like the other energies, it can be overactive or it can be underactive. An underactive solar plexus, when it comes to dating, is going to be very closed off. So you can even see the rounding of the shoulders and the hiding of the solar plexus, right? This person is going to be indecisive, very passive, saying, oh, whatever it is that you want, and not really being very opinionated. They will be attracted to very strong personalities. The danger here is even narcissistic personalities will be attractive to this person. They feel the safest when they're being led. So they don't want to have their own source of personal power. They're willing to shrink themselves to let the other person take the lead and be dominant. They confuse passivity with avoiding expressing their own needs. And there's this constant self-doubt or over apologizing. Just think of a weaker sense of personal power. Now, maybe this came from the environment that they grew up in, where it was better to shrink yourself and kind of hide behind the backdrop in order to be safe. There's lots of reasons, and I strongly suggest diving into the Solar Plexus journal, which I have here, on exploring where your confidence is currently, what brought it to that point, and how to heal it to be more balanced. So yeah, you end up playing, when it comes to dating, you end up playing the supporting role in your own love story. You don't want to take your love story, the responsibility of it and the power in it. So you kind of sit back and see how things play out. Okay, so now let's talk about the overactive. So for this person, it is a chest out, belly out, right? Very confident, very humorous, right? And but their ego is also going to be a lot bigger. So they want to be right. They're going to argue. There is a sense of wanting to fix or correct your partner. And it creates power struggles. This person wants to be in control and dominate. They are attractive to the passive and submissive person. And they feel like it's easier than being challenged in a relationship. They can't relax with uncertainty, and they struggle in general to surrender. So they are in the lead. When it comes to handling the truth, they're going to fight for what the truth is that they believe is the truth, with a very black and white view of things. And their ego is going to affect the way they respond. So take a moment here to reflect to see, do you feel like your solar plexus is a little underactive or a little overactive? Okay. So true peace is in having a balanced chakra. So like I said, we're not going to come totally aligned and perfect when we're coming into a dating relationship. But that self-awareness to know where your sense of personal power is going to be super helpful when trying to find a match. And then noticing what role you slip into. So let's say every time I get into a relationship, I end up slipping into the submissive role, and I'm not sure why. Well, your solar plexus is closed off and you're afraid to take that power. And so noticing that pattern is important. It does not mean to stop dating. It just means to work and take the feedback that you're getting from the dates and from the interaction to keep assessing your energy. So inner work and personal development is an ongoing thing that happens by living life. It's not something that we stop living life and I need to go sit at home and think about this. I need to sit at home and journal. And yes, of course, do those things, but don't only do those things. Keep living life, keep experiencing life so that you can learn from it. So what are some ways that you can heal your solar plexus? Well, for one, if power is an issue, if there's like a power struggle that keeps happening in the relationship, and you're the one that's overactive, a great practice is to celebrate the power of others. So when you see someone else taking the power or making a decision or taking the lead, celebrate them, congratulate them, let them know that you trust them. And if you are the one that is underactive, take time to really figure out what it is that you want, express it, and do that thing. And let that action be with or without that partner, but let the partner see and be a witness to your strength. Okay, let me know what you're experiencing in the comments. I would love to know some feedback about how your dates are going and what the power dynamic is in the relationship and how long it takes for that to reveal. In the meantime, if you would like to work deeper on your solar plexus and work on your ego so that your ego is not blocking you in relationships or having the relationships end prematurely because of a lack of humility or a lack of ability to submit control, then I highly encourage that you get the Solar Plexus Journal. This one is Stand in Your Confidence and Humor, How to Ignite Your Power. So please comment below, like and share this video. I love you. Thank you. God bless and namaste.